What I'm saying is it's just such a circus. These people come through Texas. Yeah. They were sent to New York, and now they're being sent back to Texas. You know, I mean, it's just, it's outrageous to see this back and forth. We have no, programs in place to handle the 10 million people who've come illegally into this country. And so they're being ping-ponged back and forth. It's outrageous.
I'd argue that the number is more like 20 million than 10 million when you start.
I think it's 20 million.
Order. Yeah. And you're right. It is being ping pong back and forth. And dollars are being wasted on that. But you've seen these cities that have said, we want to have sanctuary city policies. Well, you wanted it. You got it. And now what you're doing is you're sending them back to states that have already, like Texas, that have already had to spend over $6.5 billion of its state budget to actually enforce immigration laws that the federal government hasn't.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty incredible that this issue is finally being seen as one of the #1 issues for this election, and it should be because of this wide open border and its deadly impact that we've seen. The election now 1 week away. Both candidates, Trump and Harris, say that they've got the best plan for small business. You're on the Small Business Committee. Trump would likely extend or make permanent the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. He also wants tax cuts for those people of all incomes and business. Trump is also saying that he'll use tariffs to ensure that jobs happen here and cars are made here. He doesn't want any tax on tips or federal income, and he doesn't want tax on overtime and, of course, Social Security. Harris, meanwhile, says she's going to create 25 million new business applications, increase existing small business tax deductions to $50,000. She says she's going to raise taxes. The corporate tax rate she wants to send back up to 28%, and she wants to end tax on tips as well. The idea she got from Trump. Almost a quarter of small business owners say that they've got fewer than 6 months of cash reserves. 45% say they expect to scale their operations down within 6 to 18 months, Congresswoman. What is the state of small business today, and which plan will help?
Look, we've had almost 4 years of hearings at small business. When you hear the small businesses come to you and tell you how crippling that the policies under this administration have been, the $1.7 trillion of additional regulatory spend that they pushed down on, well, while the Trump administration understood that burden and actually worked, they had the policy that for every one regulation you added, you got rid of 2. That saved $1.1 trillion. We've seen an additional 1.7 put down their face. In addition, they're looking at 20% inflation. This is as a direct result of their financial policies. We are going to have $36 trillion debt at the end of this year. And by the way, we're also pulling down our Treasury reserves by $1 billion. So you're seeing an increase in debt of nearly $9 billion, which is almost a quarter, actually over a quarter of the overall debt. These small businesses are feeling it more than any other. As a result, they're having to shut their doors. They're having to increase prices, which is increasing inflation. It's all as a result of these policies that the Biden administration has inflicted on them. We've had these hearings. They've heard it firsthand. They're not slowing down. Look at what Harris is wanting to do. They're making it worse.
Yeah, well, look, the Biden-Harris administration's policy also having a negative impact on seniors and their ability to retire. According to a new report from economist E.J. Antoni, retirement plan balances have increased nearly $30 trillion by the third quarter of 2024. But after adjusting for inflation, the retirement plans are worth $27 trillion. That's a $2.5 trillion loss, Congresswoman. What do you want to say about seniors and these plans in terms of how things could change? What would you say about the election today?
Yeah, I'd say policies have consequences, and when you've seen the additional spend that has increased, not only the inflation that these seniors are having to spend by nearly 20%, in some cases more if you're looking at energy, if you're looking at food costs, if you're looking at insurance, but then what they're having, their savings is being depleted. Policies have ramifications, and you've got an ability with the Trump administration that recognizes that to be able to fix it. But I'll tell you firsthand, and you and I talked about this a few weeks ago when we had a job fair in North Texas. We had nearly 25,000 to 30,000 people coming out to find a job. And I was shocked looking at the number of seniors that are walking around looking for jobs now, because double digits, they are recognizing the fact that they cannot retire, or they definitely cannot retire when they've seen their retirement savings depleted in such a way. It's almost double digits that they've seen their retirement accounts that have been dwindled as a result of these policies. So yes, I think if you start looking at the provisions from the TCJA that we're moving forward on that recognize the fact that we have to help small businesses, if you look at the massive tax bill that we want to enforce in the first 100 days of a new administration, we're listening to these businesses, we're listening to working families, we're listening to seniors, and we've got the solutions.
All right, Congresswoman, we'll be watching. We got a week left. We'll see how the policy changes or doesn't. Beth Van Duyne, thank you so much.